What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of La Banca podcast in English. I'm your host, Marquinho, aka Che Segovia, aka Mark, the government name. Alongside two of my co-hosts, I know they're very excited. Today is the beginning of international soccer World Cup qualifying all around the world. But obviously we're going to speak a little bit more towards our region, which is the CONCACAF region. But before we get to that, man, little man, ¿qué pasó? I love your shirt, man. I love your shirt, bro.
Madness August is done, sadly for me, but life goes on, and now we enter September Madness with the qualifiers.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later on, man. But I'm glad to see you repping the La Salvador shirt, La Selecta. Obviously, we know they go against the United States this night, but we'll get to that later on. Pato, I see you got the koala bear jersey over there, the Mexican jersey, man, representing. What's going on, Pato? How you doing?
The koala calendar, the Mexican Mayan calendar. How are you guys, little man Mark? How are you? Ready for these games or what?
Yeah, for sure, man. Obviously, I know some of the games are about to start. I think Costa Rica, Honduras, Costa Rica is about to start right now, and then Panama, Panama. Who else am I missing? Somebody in Panama. I can't remember who right now off the top of my head.
Look at little man rocking the Regia beer. I'm pretty sure he's got some yuca con chicharrón under somewhere in there, and some pupusas.
I am being a total Salvadoran this afternoon. Pupusas are out there on the kitchen.
Oh man, you should have told me, man. We could have done the show live at Little Man's house. I don't mind eating pupusas, but obviously we're here enjoying our beers, enjoying our thirst, quenching our thirst and all this good stuff because there's a lot of soccer going on. But before we get to the international stuff, and everything else, obviously, like Little mentioned, it is the beginning of September. So what does that mean? The summer transfer window has closed. Most of the big five, the big European leagues are done. There's a couple little ones. Mainly the biggest one is the Turkish leagues that still has another week left. But for the most part, all the European big leagues are done transferring. Obviously, we had a big last day of the summer transfer window. A lot of big names moved. But before we get into that, what team? I think we're all in the agreement that maybe PSG had the best summer transfer window this season. But aside from PSG, just a quick answer. What team do you think did really well in the summer transfer window, Pato?
Chelsea did really good. Manchester United did also well, but I'm gonna stay with Chelsea because I think that the coach and their whole entire Chelsea sports team did really well by adding pieces. Lukaku was a good addition, and here and there putting guys, getting rid of guys, bringing guys in. I think Chelsea was probably the one who did a really good job. I like what Manchester United did because they did need that number 9, and Ronaldo's going to score a lot of goals. So to me, I'm gonna go with those two. If Manchester City would have landed one of the guys they were pursuing, they would have put him right there too. But I'm gonna go ahead and stay with Chelsea and Manchester United in the Premier League, obviously.
Little man, what about you? Who do you think besides PSG had a great transfer window?
I'm gonna go just with Pato. I think Man U did pretty good signings. Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho, and at the end, everybody was going this way, but it came this way. And when I'm talking about that, everybody was going to the City. Everybody came to the Devils. Cristiano Ronaldo, the great Cristiano Ronaldo, comes back home. I think every team that has Cristiano Ronaldo has a big chance to win the league. I think Man U did a great job, an excellent job.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with both of y'all. I mean, I think Manchester United obviously with the two signings that they had at first with Varane and Sancho, they already had a great signing window, but then to add Cristiano Ronaldo at the end, and especially taking them away at the 11th hour from their main rival in Man City, it's a big plus. It's a big coup for them. Obviously, I know the old players, Rio Ferdinand, Paul Scholes, gave him a call, told him, "Hey, man, you can't go to City."
Alex Ferguson gave him a call too. Alex Ferguson gave him a call.
It just goes to show that no matter how big of a player you are, you still have respect for those who came before you, because we all know that Cristiano Ronaldo's a huge figure in the world of soccer. But the fact that he can still get a phone call from one of his old teammates from almost a decade ago, 15 years ago, and help persuade him to come back to United. It's a big get for United.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you mentioned, Pato. I mean, obviously with Lukaku, I mean, Chelsea wasn't a team that needed a lot, but what they needed, they took care of. Obviously, they needed that number 9 in Lukaku, a striker who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. A last minute transfer for Saul, a midfielder from Atletico Madrid, who we all know did really well for Atletico Madrid. Won almost everything over there in Spain. So I mean, he wanted a new adventure, he wanted to test his skills.
They get Condé, right? They finally got Condé or no?
Who?
No, they didn't.
Did they get
No,
Condé?
No, it fell the last hour or whatever. So they couldn't get. The Sevilla wanted the full release clause. Chelsea was only willing to go to 60, and I think the release clause was 70. So, but let's talk about this last minute, this last day transfers. Obviously, one of the biggest ones, Antoine Griezmann, going back to Atletico Madrid from Barcelona on a $10 million loan with an obligation. It came out as an obligation to buy next season for $40 million plus add-ons, depending on what happens with competition and things like that. So obviously this can be looked at many different ways, because a lot of people obviously look at it as and Barcelona is given one of their main rivals another weapon, but other people can look at it as like, well, he is the biggest earner in Barcelona, and they needed to cut the wage bill. And how do you cut the wage bill? You cut off the top of the head, which is Antoine Griezmann at the time. So, Pato, let me go with you first before we get to little man. Antoine Griezmann back with Simeone. Simeone wanted him. Simeone, he wanted Griezmann back. We know what Griezmann did under Simeone. Griezmann obviously was at his peak at Atletico. To be honest, an Atletico legend. To be honest, with everything that he did over there. What do you think? What do you think this does for La Liga? What do you think this does for Atletico as far as being from separating themselves from Barcelona and Real Madrid as far as favorites for the Liga?
A player like this man can put you over the top. I already picked them already to win the Liga. This probably will give him a little more tools to win it, even though probably won't agree with me. But I didn't understand the part of Barcelona though, because I understand cutting cap, right, and everything. Laporta is going to come in and clean the house pretty much. But don't you think that maybe you want to keep him and play him so he can lose that much value? Because dude, you bought him a player for 100% and then you sell it back to them for 50%. So I really didn't understand that move. And not only that, competition wise, you just gave him a top 10 player on the league to your opponent. So that right there, I really didn't understand. But this is the case with Barcelona. They're gonna have to be giving players away, or either give them on loans, because nobody wants the salary. Nobody wants the players. This was a very good negotiation from Atletico de Madrid, which got the player 50%, and only 10 million this year. I will gladly pay the 50, 25 for the 2 years. So I did not understand, but I mean, great for Griezmann, because Simeone loves him. He knows the system. I mean, dude, this is just a win and win for Atletico.
Little, let me ask you, Antoine Griezmann, we know for the last 2 years that he's been in Barcelona, his form has dipped. Obviously, he hasn't been playing the same like he was with Atletico Madrid. So maybe obviously the style wasn't there. Obviously because Griezmann played Messi's position, and then Messi was out. But even with Messi not playing this season with Barcelona, the first couple of games, he still doesn't seem to be acclimated to Koeman's system. So. What are your thoughts about obviously Griezmann going back to Atletico, and obviously what do you think for Barcelona? I mean, do you think this is just opening the gates for the other players to get more opportunity to play, or do you think it's more of a obviously we just got to cut the wage bill?
Well, I mean, I totally agree with Pato. yes, Antoine Griezmann, when he was playing in Barcelona, he was not even the player that he was at Real Sociedad. He was not even the player that he played. That he was not even the player that he was at Atletico de Madrid. That the guy that carried Atletico de Madrid to two consecutive champions. The thing is that Cholo Simeone's system, he can have a quality team. His system is the way he makes them play is the one that they don't understand. He got lucky last weekend with Villarreal. He was losing 2-1. He ended up tying 2-2. I mean, I think now Atletico de Madrid fans have to go back because they have the stars and like the Walk of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go back and clean it up and shine it up because they probably pee on it, urinate on it, and poop on it. But now they have to go back and clean it again. But I think it's a good signing. Like I said, Barcelona, he wasn't doing good at Barcelona. He was not even.
Do you think this gives Madrid a bigger advantage over Barcelona and Real Madrid for La Liga title? Because I mean, we talked the last show. I think we all agreed that Atletico was the more complete team between the three, right? Because they have the defense, they have the midfielders, they have the strikers. As opposed to where Barcelona, they're still kind of young. Madrid is a little thin on defense, but Atletico was a little bit the most complete team out of the three. Do you think this gives them a more bigger advantage as far as winning back-to-back La Liga titles?
I mean, I just like I said, I mean, I don't know if you agree with me, Pato, but it's just the way Cholo Simeone plays. It's not.
No, I understand what he's saying, Little, but the problem is
it's like forwards have to come back and play defense too.
But this is a very talented player that between lines on a counter, the way he plays, this guy can take. This guy can score. He can pass. He can score. This is the guy you need on the system because on a counter, dude, this guy can make it happen.
Pato, let me put you in this same scenario. Diego Costa, very successful with Cholo Simeone, correct or no?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. All right, he left to Chelsea. He came back to Atletico de Madrid. He didn't do no good.
No, but he's old already, man.
Griezmann is not a young kid anymore, Doug.
He didn't have any more. No, Griezmann is still a great player, dude. We making it, dude. This is my argument. Why I was like, why is Barcelona doing this? Because how the hell are you gonna give up a top 10 player on the league? It's just so you can release cap and sign a dinosaur on Agüero.
Barcelona needed number 9. Yeah. Barcelona needed a number 9.
But
that's what they went out. Now look, Barcelona they needed a number 1. They went out and looked for a Sterling. They said no. They went and looked for Rodrigo. No. And look, the job was out for them, and Griezmann wasn't doing any better out there. I mean, I think Barcelona let go. I think Barcelona is gonna. He had to rebuild themselves up.
This is the thing. I think, from my opinion, obviously with Barcelona, I think it's one of those things where obviously, we know Antoine Griezmann is one of the top players in the world. We obviously know what he does for a national team in France, and we also know what he did for Atletico Madrid, and everything that he's won in his career. But sometimes when the system doesn't fit, the system doesn't fit. And it's a shame that it didn't fit for him here in Barcelona. Whether it was under Valverde or it was under Koeman. It just wasn't a perfect fit, and you have to you have to understand that sometimes you gotta cut your wages and you gotta cut your losses. You can't just keep going with the same thing thinking that something else is gonna come up and this player's gonna get better. You would hope. I mean, but you gave him 2 years already.
I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But when he went to Barcelona, he was not a young guy. He was already a built player.
No. Look.
He has no excuse to be a failure.
No. It's not that he was a failure. Obviously, I think there was. The reason I think a lot of people, like Barcelona fans or just fans in general, believe that Griezmann's time in Barcelona is a failure is because of what they pay for him. When you get that price tag next to your name, you have to bring it.
You have to produce.
And obviously the style didn't fit. But like I said, under the old leadership of Barcelona, they were just signing names just to sign names, and just handing out money like it was nothing, like it was toilet paper, So it's an unfortunate thing that he didn't work out. I would have wished he worked out because I'm a big fan of Griezmann. I like Griezmann when he was Atletico. I liked him when he was with Real Sociedad. He's a great player. I think he's really talented. I think he can do a lot of things. Obviously, Barcelona signed him at an older age. Man, I think he was 28, going on 29, which is a little bit older than what you want to sign him to be.
That's the perfect stage.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is there's if he would have stayed with Barcelona, there would have been no resale value. But at least something, he wasn't doing as good as they thought he would. They got something for him. They cut the wage bill. That's because you got to think about it now. Now you got there's room for Ansu Fati, who's coming back. I'm not, Dembele. They're getting him back next month. Luke de Jong, who was another player we'll talk about here in a bit, who they just got from Sevilla. Obviously Kun Agüero. So they have attacking players that fit the system, and they're not getting paid as much as Griezmann, who can probably give you the same caliber of goals, the same amount of assists that Griezmann was doing. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's a loss because we understand that we paid 120 million euros for Griezmann, and we're only getting about 50 to 60 back, depending on what the add-ons are or whatever. But at the end of the day, Laporta made it clear. He's here. He's cleaning house. He's gonna do whatever he can to get his wage bill and get his debt back.
He has to clean house. That's what I said.
Yeah.
My opinion was based that Messi's not there anymore. That he could have played this year, and maybe is a wake-up year for him. And now, what's next for Koeman? To be calling the whole Netherlands team to Barcelona, or what's next?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
But Luke de Jong.
Let's talk about that. Luke de Jong. Obviously, he's not a big name, but he's done really well for Sevilla. He's won a couple of Europa Cups with Sevilla. He's won a Super Cup with the Sevilla as well. He's scored important goals, so he's been in high game, high big pressure games. So he understands what it takes to win. We'll touch on him a little bit, but what do you think about Luke de Jong? I don't see him coming. I don't think of him as somebody coming in to score 20-something goals. No, I think he's one of those players that doesn't mind being the third wheel if he's starting.
No, but he's a threat, dude. Corner kicks, set pieces. He's a good dude. This guy is a good header, man. Mm-hmm. This guy is. He scores when the ball is up. He goes and gets it. He's a good corner. Barcelona. If he's not Piqué, nobody scores on corner kicks. If he's not Piqué, nobody scores on centers. So this guy is a good option, dude. And granted,
he's a true professional.
Yeah, the Pi already show you that he can put it right there, so he might take advantage. He might take advantages of some, when he plays.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, obviously we know that they're not gonna try to push Ansu Fati quickly into the lineup. They're gonna give him his minutes to start off with, but Luke de Jong gives you that bridge where you can wait. And you can wait on Ansu Fati, or you can wait on Dembele or whoever, or Sergio Aguero, and all that stuff. So he gives you a versatile forward, somebody who understands La Liga, who's playing La Liga, and who understands how to score goals. But let's go to the other Madrid team, Real Madrid. They signed a French player, but it's not the one that we all thought they would. Camavinga from Rennes. A lot of people obviously, a lot of people are disappointed. A lot of Madridistas are disappointed because they wanted Mbappe. But I don't see them being too disappointed because this 18-year-old kid, he's supposedly the future of French football. A lot of people compare him to a Pogba, things like that. We'll see what happens. But a very talented young kid who's been playing first-team football for almost 2 years now. I think he got his professional debut at 16 at Rennes. But a very nice coup for $30 million plus a couple of, a $5 million add-on for Rennes. A very nice deal for Florentino Perez. For as much as I hate to say it, Florentino, he's out there, trying to make what he can do to make it happen. What are your thoughts? Obviously 18-year-old, but obviously the midfield is kind of already set. It's Modric, Kouls, and Casemiro. Where does he get his playing time? Where does he get his opportunity?
Hey,
go ahead, I'm sorry, little man, go ahead.
Go ahead, little.
I think it was a great signing. Now let's consider that he he made his debut at the age of 16. You know, he didn't want to sign again. So Manchester United, PSG were out there looking for him already. And all of a sudden, last minute thing, Florentino made a call, said 30, boom, let's go, bring him over.
I'm Florentino, come over.
Yeah, he just gave him a call, put him in the plane, put him over here. No, he was playing the national team. He was playing the national team. But it's just one of those things that it just happened because really they were just waiting for him to come free because his contract expires next year. So they were like, hey, he's gonna be free next year, so we should bring him over. Real Madrid made that final one. He's gonna be in the position of Luka Modric. He's more offensive than defensive, so he's a great signing. He's signed with the Castilla. He's not with the Real Madrid first team. They're gonna take him little by little. I think it's one of those last minute signings that we were all Madrid fans were all focused on Mbappe, but we got the other French guy, not the one who won it, but.
I mean, if Florentino's plan is to sign the whole French national team, it's not a bad idea. I mean, they are one of the premier teams in the national team. One of the premier national teams.
What a comeback, Martino! What a comeback! Hey, but they will be playing time though, because remember they got 3 tournaments and guys get injured. Dude, I see him, Valverde, Casemiro, and probably another one of the experienced guys. Or I see them 3 and Isco probably. Dude, that could be a formidable midfield right there against what Fidel said, the cupcake in the group and champions, or the Copa del Rey. I mean, or playing against probably in the middle of the season when some teams are down. But I see those him playing with Valverde and Casemiro and some other guy. I don't see why not.
Let me go to the chat real quick before we continue on. Shout out to Adrian, first time watcher, man. Shout out to you, man. Hopefully
thanks, guys.
He says, finally, a La Liga podcast, dude. We're not just La Liga. Obviously, we focus on La Liga because I'm a Barcelona fan. Little and Patos are Madrid fans. But, we do other leagues in the world. Whatever league you're interested in, man, let us know. We'll try to mention it on the show for every once in a while. Marlon, what's up, man? Marlon over here, he's supporter of Chelsea. Chelsea is loaning and selling players like crazy. We obviously know that Chelsea is the loan capital of the world. The Chelsea loan army is very highly effective out there, and they're out there loaning young players all the time and bringing them big players at the same time. Let me see. Tony, what's up, man? Tony and that as well.
Tony, what's that?
500. What's up, man?
500.
So
yeah,
but guys, so obviously, Real Madrid making moves, Atletico Madrid making moves, Barcelona making moves. Let's talk about Chelsea. I mean, obviously, Chelsea, the big move they made earlier in the transfer window was Lukaku, and they signed Saúl Ñíguez from Atletico Madrid. What do you think about that? Because I mean, we obviously talk about the Madrid midfield being packed, but the Chelsea midfield is packed too. You got Conte, you got Jorginho, and just the names keep coming on. Where do you see Saúl playing in this? Because I mean, honestly, to be honest, I mean, I'm not taking any one of those midfielders off as a first team midfielder. I don't know where, even though Saúl is talented, he's young, 24, 25 years old, and he's shown that he can play at that level. Who does he replace? Pato, let me ask you real quick.
I don't think he doesn't replace no one. I think he's gonna try to put the 4-3-3 with him, Kante and Jorginho, and then put 3 horses on the top. I mean, probably Lukaku and 2 of the other guys, Mount or CJ, or maybe Captain America. Dude, that right there, man. Those 3 guys can contain anybody, if you ask me. Saúl, Kante, and Jorginho, all spread out in the midfield. Dude, they can contain anybody's midfield, including PSG.
No,
to me, that's a good addition.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing about clubs like Chelsea and obviously clubs like the big 3 in Spain, it's not just about focusing on the league. You got to focus about the Champions League and your other competitions as well. These premier teams, they're playing 60, 70 games a year. So I mean, there's plenty of games. It's just sometimes, when it comes to ego, sometimes, and when you're in the prime of your career, sometimes you just want to be playing every game. It doesn't matter the competition, and I understand that as a player, sometimes you want to go out there. It doesn't matter. You never want to come off. It doesn't matter. But sometimes, as a coach, obviously with Tuchel or we're talking Coleman, or we're talking Simeone, or I can't remember the Madrid coach right now for some reason. It's blocking out my head. Ancelotti, them as coaches, they have to make the decision like, hey, you've been doing really good for me, but I need to give you some rest. I need to put so-and-so in, give them some time and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I think with Chelsea and Saul, I mean, like Adrian says in the chat, they're going to need him throughout the season, especially through Champions League, which is true. He has a lot of experience with Atletico Champions League. He's gonna gain experience in the Premier League and stuff like that. So it's a very valuable chip to have on the bench if he doesn't start in the Premier League games.
I mean,
go ahead, Little.
He has goal. He's very talented. He was just not very happy with the new road that he was going to take on Atletico de Madrid, and he was asking for a way out. Chelsea's going to be a pretty good fit for him. I mean, he's young and he's talented, and he has goal. I mean, a guy can shoot to the goal, so that's very important. This Premier teams have four tournaments, man. So they gotta be very, very well equipped with players. I mean, injuries can happen anytime. I mean that's the way soccer's happening right now, man.
I think, for sure. I think if you ask me, it was a great addition. A guy who's young, but he already Champions experience. He's very, how do I say? He's very
formidable. He's a very good player.
He's also with the system, with Simeone's system. He's also very disciplined. So, dude, German coaches love that. Low players like that. I'm pretty sure that was part of what he was getting over there. So, that's.
Marlon on the chat says, don't get me wrong, Saul is good, but we need a defense. There is enough midfield to cover all. Adrian says, didn't they sell Suma to French CB or to West Ham? What's his name? Suma went to West Ham. Cordin, who they were going to sign from Sevilla, the deal fell through because Sevilla wanted the full 70 million.
I'm sorry about this, but what I heard is that when Koundé was already on Chelsea, Lukaku came in and Tuchel focused on Lukaku. That's when the whole thing all messed up. They're like, wait, and they wanted Sevilla to wait, and then Sevilla was like, nah.
Well, I mean, I guess you got to choose. Then, do you want to defend or do you want to score goals? And I think Chelsea understands that.
But I think that's kind of a leverage, kind of to deal with a contract like that. I think Sevilla was waiting until the last minute, so Chelsea will go like, all right, now I have no choice but to pay, and they just didn't pay. That's kind of a leverage on part of Sevilla because. Right. If Chelsea wanted the player, I mean,
for sure. But obviously, talking about the transfer window, we talk about everybody who got signed the last day and the last minute, the last hour. But there's one player out there who didn't get signed. There was clocks everywhere, some TikTok, and it still took.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show like this.
I mean, so Kylian Mbappe is still at this moment at Paris Saint-Germain. Well, he's with the French national team, but he's going back to PSG right now. He got injured during today's game. I think a hamstring issue or whatever. But PSG reports are that obviously Real Madrid made a final offer of $200 million euros to PSG. PSG never picked up the phone. They just ignored it and told Florentino basically to shush. With that being said, obviously Kylian Mbappe is on his last year of the contract with PSG, so he can leave on a free next season. So maybe Florentino might have the last laugh and be able to pick up a world-class player for free. But with that being said, there's also rumors of PSG offering Kylian Mbappe a 2-year extension for $50 million a year, which would make him the highest paid player in all football, which, I think he deserves. Obviously, he's been a tremendous player for PSG. He's been a tremendous player for the French national team. And for the last couple of years, he's been up there at the top 5 players of throughout the game, the last 2-3 years for sure. Little man, I'm going to talk to you first because I know you're passionate about the subject. Mbappe to Real Madrid. Are you? I know you wanted him, right? I know you wanted him, but
Everybody wants him.
are you happy with the fact that you have the possibility of getting him for free instead of paying the 200 million euros? Or did you
No.
want him? No, you wanted him now.
I wanted him now because he wanted to come now. When a soccer player tells you, "Hey, I want to go over right now. I want to join the team right now," you show him that you want him, right?
Mhm.
You let him know. The offer started at 160, then they went up to 170 and 10, and 10, in payments. At the last minute, they end up raising it to 2. Never got a phone call back. Never got nothing back. Never said, "Hey, no, don't even bother." Nothing. I think that's. I just find it very disrespectful from a team. I think this is not the way soccer is. I've never seen a team do that. With the and people say, yeah, well, he got money. Yeah, he got money, but that's not the way you does. That's not the way you do stuff. You listen to people.
I understand what you're saying from one standpoint, and I agree with you. Don't think I'm not agreeing with what you're saying, but if you're looking from another standpoint as well, he has a contract.
Absolutely, no. I mean, he has a contract, and he's respecting it. No, and you have to give props to the guy. I mean, the guy never rebelled. He never said, I don't want to, I don't want to be in, he never came out public and said, I want to go to Real Madrid, even though he wants to go to Real Madrid. He's a very calm guy, but he let him.
But I thought you said he was breaking chairs, and I don't know what else.
No, he wasn't doing that. But, I mean, so that's not the way you do stuff, I mean, to pick up the phone, go like, hey, don't hold somebody like a prisoner.
Hostage, yeah.
Hostage. Don't do that, dude. I mean, if the guy wants to leave, well, if you want to leave, fine. First they said, well, he's not going to leave under Real Madrid conditions. He's going to leave under our conditions.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. And this is just a complete thought of mine that I think this could have gone a lot better. I think there was a possibility of you getting Mbappe this summer. But I think Florentino Perez went at it the wrong way. And I think that PSG felt a little bit disrespected the way they're doing it. And I'm going to tell you why. If, let's say PSG wanted 220, right? They wanted the 220 or 230, whatever that final number was, and Perez only wanted to do 200, which 200, 230, it's not a big gap. But why offer that on the last day on the 11th hour? You see, as a team, as PSG, I'm PSG, right? If you come and you offer me $200 million for a player on the 11th hour, great. But what can I do? I can't replace him because my time is up. My time is up. Right. If Florentino and Real Madrid were real serious, why don't you just come up? Look, 200 mil. That's it. Take it or leave it. That way, if they say no, okay, you did what you could. But go. I understand negotiations. You want to start, but this is for arguably the best player in the world right now, right? The face of football for the next 10 years. This is an exception. This isn't some random player that's maybe top 15, top 20. This is top 1, 2, or 3 player in the world. You go and you make your presence felt. Just the same way PSG to Barcelona when they wanted Neymar. They didn't play no games. They didn't negotiate. Hold on. They just said, here's the release clause. Give me Neymar. Bye. That's it. Go ahead, little one.
I think it was different. Go ahead, little. Go ahead, finish.
Look, it's way different when you have a guy that he runs the whole country. The guy is filthy in money, right? Mm-hmm. It's a whole different story when you have a club like Barcelona, like Sevilla, like Real Madrid, that the money comes from the fans.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
It's a big money. Tell me right now, Pato, which club right now that doesn't have an owner is going to offer $200 million for one player right now?
No. I told you before on shows before that it was kind of a stupid for Florentino, but we also spoke that it was more of a formality. It was nothing serious because PSG didn't want to hear nothing. And that's what happened. PSG never wanted to hear nothing. They didn't even get into the discussion. For Florentino, what he was doing was more of a formality of, listen, Kylian, we want you, and we're willing to pay this for you. But at the end of the day, the PSG owner is willing to take a risk. This is the risk he's willing to take, right? He's willing to put him on the field, and if he loves playing with Messi and Neymar, I mean, bye bye dreams of coming to Madrid. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Even if you're saying if he wins and he can change his mind, he hasn't signed with no one. We think that he might come to Madrid in January because that's what everything is pointing to. But dude, if he start having a great Champions, a great season, which he is, he didn't play this Cronto the other day. He scored 2 goals, right? So if he's having, dude, if he's having a great season, he loves his teammates, blah blah blah. He falls in love with his teammates, dude. He might as well just stay in PSG. I mean, sometimes we got to be realistic on how players.
Let's just be realistic, just like you right now, Doug. And do you think he doesn't want to play with Karim Benzema? The guy he went to vacations with?
Little man, we can be close. We can be really good friends. We can be really good friends, which we are, but that doesn't mean we're gonna play in the same team. It doesn't work like that. You know it.
Okay. So it's not great for him to play with Karim Benzema, but it's great for him to play with Messi.
No, what I'm saying, little man, all this is hypothetical because he's under contract. He is with PSG. He's under contract. The decision he's going to have to make is on January when he can sign with another team.
I think what Pato's trying to say a little is that PSG, since they took over the oil money people, since they took over, they have a project in mind, right? They want to build the best brand, the best project, the best team in the world, right? Right now they're on the cusp of doing that. Maybe we'll see. Obviously, we need to let the season play out. They need to win Champions League. They need to do X, Y, Z before we can crown them, the best. Whatever.
You got to remember this, Mark. That we're doing hypotheticals here. Remember?
Yeah. So the thing is that when Neymar and Mbappe first came to PSG, the promise that they made those 2 players, which they were top 5 players in the world, which and some of them and they might still be, top 5, top 10 for sure. That we're going to build the best team around you to compete for the biggest things in the world, and we're going to be the best brand in the world. And they made a Champions League final. They didn't win, unfortunately. They've dominated the French league, which obviously should be something that should be easily done. But now to take that next step, ownership has done what they needed to do. They went and got Messi. I mean, it came out of nowhere, but they got him. They got a veteran leader like Sergio Ramos. They got a future big goalkeeper in Donnarumma. They got Hakimi. They got the Nuno Mendes, el Portuguese. So I mean, they stacked the team. They're showing
like all in, right? They're going all in, correct? It looked like they're going on.
They're showing Kylian Mbappe that we're serious about this, and we want you to be part of this. So obviously, as an individual, I think Mbappe wants to go to Madrid. If I'm betting right now, I think it's 80-20. He goes to Madrid from now.
Correct. I'm not saying he's not going, but I'm saying if something goes down the line where he falls in love with what he's doing, he might not come. Hey, I wanted to bring this up though because A said this, and we speak in hypotheticals also. Okay. He said that next season, can you imagine Mbappe coming for free? Then they buy Haaland. So the money that's going out from Madrid to get these 2 players is really less on what they could have paid. Because if you pay 220 for one, and then you probably pay 150 for the other one, that's 350.
But if you bring in Haaland, so much for playing with Benzema. I thought he was going to play with Benzema.
No. You can always.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you. But no. I mean, it's a great hypothetical that he brings up. Obviously, it's something that us as fans. I mean, maybe not little, but us as fans, I don't want to see the top 1 and 2 players together. It's not something in any sport. I want to see the best go against the best. You know, I miss the days where this great player used to play this great player, and this great player carried his team to glory, and this one didn't make it. You know, but next year he came back and he got the championship this year, whatever. Those days are over. I know there's super teams all over the sports and all over different sports, whatever. But,
I think to see that, Mark, you got to be watching the Premier League every Sunday, man. To watch that teams going at it like that. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but I mean, La Liga has taken a step down to the next week.
Doug,
okay, little.
we just wanted to keep in mind, these people, they don't know how to sell. They know how to buy.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, it's going to affect the whole soccer thing. Because once a player goes in there, he won't be able to come out. Do we agree with that? Do you like that or no?
No, for sure,
But you have to wait until Mbappe either signs for another team or he has issues by not leaving. You have to wait until that happens.
And here's my other thing.
Okay.
Where is Seferini? Where all that money's going?
You know, these guys at the end, they're so corrupt that they're gonna pull the way that money comes in.
But we judged Florentino when he was talking about, hey man, this cannot go on.
Okay. I think his idea is a great idea to save teams, but the way he handled it, I mean,
you know, it's and this will be the last thing before we move on to the next segment. And we want to say hi to our fourth partner over here, Aurelio. What's going on, buddy? I see you rocking the Mexico jersey, ready for the game.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
You know, he came in just in time to talk CONCACAF World Cup Qualifiers. But before we get to that topic, one more thing about Florentino and the Super League. It's one of those things where when you present something to the world or to whatever audience you're trying to persuade to buy into whatever you're trying to sell, the way you present it speaks a lot about the way they're going to receive it, you know, and you know the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, Barcelona is on the same boat. Barcelona wanted the Super League, you know, so I can't sit here and be like, Florentino this and that. No, Laporta, Florentino, and I can't remember Juve's boss, but they want the Super League, right? But the thing is the way it was presented to the world and the way it made it seem where, you know, everything is just guaranteed for those clubs, which I understand why everything should be guaranteed for those clubs, but I also understand why 90% of the soccer world saw it as like, no, man, you need to earn your keep. You know, it doesn't matter if you've been the best club in the world for 100 years. If you can't be the best club for another 100 years, then you don't deserve that spot. You have to keep earning that spot. You got to earn your keep. But with that being said, obviously, we have international soccer guys. You know, I see little man rocking the Salvador kit.
Arriba con la selección. Arriba con la selección.
Pato and Aurelio were in the Mexico kit. Man, I forgot the memo. I should have got my Salvador kit. I have it hanging over there in the closet right now. But with that being said, we got 4 matches in the CONCACAF Champions League going on. I mean, not Champions League, World Cup qualifiers coming up right now. One right now playing, I believe it's Honduras and Costa Rica, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And somebody give me the score if there's a score update. I mean, on the chat as well. If you have scores, let us know, man, because right now I can't really see the TV from my angle.
Honduras just scored 1-0 on Canada.
Los Patrachos.
Alexander Lopez. Not Canada. This is at Canada.
Yeah, guys. So I mean, you know, the first game of the Octagonal CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Obviously, we know that the 2 biggest games come at 9:00 Central Standard Time, our time. Mexico versus Jamaica, El Salvador versus USA, and El Salvador. And just note it. Our buddy Fidel, he's over there representing La Banca podcast in El Salvador right now. He's gonna be sitting somewhere around there in the suite area with the Presidente Boca, you know, watching the game. So, you know, shout out to you, Fidel. You know, I know you're always out there representing for Salvador and all that good stuff. So, you know, man, shout out to you. You know, hopefully you have a good time at the game. If you decide to throw liquid on the field, just make sure, you know, it's clean liquid. Don't be peeing in no bag and throwing it.
It's gonna be clean because you've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah. Aurelio, since you just came in, let me talk to you about it first, man. Obviously, Mexico, Jamaica. For those who don't know, Tata Martino is not with the team. He had surgery. He had surgery on his eye for an infection that he had. So he won't be with the team for the first 2 games of this qualifiers. Aurelio, let me ask you a question, man. Do you think this affects Mexico in any kind of way? No. I haven't really seen who the assistant, because I think I heard that the assistant Lozano was supposed to be there or something like that, but I'm not too sure who's taking the interim.
No, it's not Lozano.
Okay, so
I don't think it's going to affect much. I know there's a couple players that couldn't make it down. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Jamaica's probably missing a whole team.
What?
The whole Premier League team.
Yeah, like they have like 8 or 10 players that couldn't come down. So
that is why Martino decided to have the surgery, because.
So before we keep going.
Besides that, it's behind closed doors too. So
that's a true fact that you're bringing. You know, obviously we know that the Premier League is kind of holding their players back. Some of the smaller federations don't have as much pool as others. You know, and depending on where they're playing, if they're coded a red country which has high COVID issues, the English Premier League has decided not to let their players participate, even though it is a FIFA date, you know, a FIFA international date, and they're supposed to let their players go play.
Hey, Mark, I have results from CONMEBOL already. Bolivia is over. Bolivia ended. Probably like an hour ago against Colombia. Roger Martinez from America scored. Fernando Saucedo from Bolivia tied. Ecuador won 2-0 at home. Felix Torres, the guy from Santos, scored. He was selected player of the game. Michael Estrada, the 2-0. Argentina just scored. Lautaro Martinez 1-0 against Venezuela.
Going to the chat real quick. Henry Ramirez, he goes, duck again. He says, hola, Pato. Saludos, guys. Saludos, Henry. Fidel from the Cusca clan. They know, I love you guys. I'm in the stadium, man. Dude, I wish I was sitting right next to you, bro. I told the wife, man, I'm a little jealous. I'm gonna leave her and I'm gonna go to Salvador here in a bit after we finish the show, because man, I need to go back to the motherland. Fidel says, vamos selecta. Henry says, Fidel can't be drunk. No lo dejan. Fidel says, 3 whiskeys in a full fridge in the suite. So, you know, obviously we know he's going to have a good time. So, no más que, pues, you know, just try to be careful out there, bro.
I think he's going to be carried out of the game.
I heard the suite was right here and La Mara was here under. So he could behave.
Yeah. So, you know, guys, so let's talk some predictions real quick. You know, obviously we know Honduras is playing right now contra Costa Rica, contra Canada. So Costa Rica, Panama. Who do you think wins that match, man? I mean, I know we have a Costa Rica team that's on a turnover right now, and they have a lot of aging players. And Panama is actually one of the surprise team to make it to this round of qualification. So, what do you think for Panama, Costa Rica? I'm gonna start with you, Pato.
Oh, Costa Rica has got everything to win on this game. Panama is the weakest link on this. Was that hexagonal?
Mm-hmm.
Just
octagonal.
Octagonal. I'm sorry. The Panama is the weakest link, if you ask me. They're the weakest team. They barely made it against Curacao. Curacao could have won that game and just eliminated them. But
I got you.
I see Costa Rica winning.
Costa Rica, Little.
I agree with Pato. I mean, Panama, if they weren't been so lucky, man, they would have lost against Curacao. I mean, I think Costa Rica, they're not that great too, but they have players.
They have a veteran team.
Can I predict that Panama will be the last one on the group on the
Panama on the octagon?
Yeah.
The last one?
The octagonal, yeah. They will be number 8.
You heard it here. We'll see how smart Pato is after this finishes these rounds. Aurelio, Panama, Costa Rica, what do you think?
I think I'm with everybody. I think Costa Rica should win it, even though they have not been doing so good. I'm like, I still think they still have a better team.
Let me just ask you about this game right now. I mean, obviously we know Honduras is winning 1-0 contra Canada ahorita. Yeah, I think they just went into halftime. Do you think Canada can pull up the comeback, or at least tie and gain a point from the Scotarachos? Little man?
Where they playing in
Canada.
where?
Canada.
In Canada? I think they should. I mean, they're not so bad. In the Gold Cup, they did pretty good. They were just a little bit unfortunately, but I think they should be able to put it off.
What kind of unfortunately? Referee kind of unfortunately, or what? What are we talking about?
Games is strategically game, Pato.
They were missing key players. Let's not kid ourselves either. They're missing a lot of key players. It's Canada. Aurelio, do you think Canada has what it takes to at least gain a point from at home? Or maybe
I do. I think they have. I think they have what it takes to at least tie it. Looking at the stats on here, I'm like, they have been. Look by the stats, it looks like they've been playing a little better. They have more. They've been having more possession of the ball. But I'm like, at the end of the game, I'm like, you can make all the passes, you can have all the possession, but if you're not doing something to make that last third, you're not going to do anything.
No, I got you. I'm with you right there for sure. But the thing about Canada right now, as opposed to their Gold Cup squad, they have their European players. They have Jonathan David, which is their big player.
That is the problem, is that you cannot put him in. You understand me? You should have played the team that played the Gold Cup.
No. Yeah, but these two players. I mean, Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David. Those are their two biggest players.
Correct.
But unfortunately for them, they both had injuries, and they couldn't make it to the Gold Cup. But now they're playing for their teams. They've already had almost a month of playing soccer, so they're fully fit. So I mean, you have to integrate these players. I mean, because they're your number one and number two players on this whole team. So they're the leaders. Even though we don't call them leaders because they're young, but they're the leaders as far as talent and capabilities of being able to take over the game. But yeah, no, I'm gonna agree with Aurelio on this one. I think Canada's gonna come back, even though I think Honduras is one of those teams that is gonna surprise everybody, and I think they're capable of qualifying in that third or fourth spot. Honduras, We'll see what happens. Now let's go back to the main event, man. We're gonna go U.S. El Salvador first before we go to Mexico, Jamaica. El Salvador, United States. United States will be without Christian Pulisic, who's out with injury, and Zach Steffen, their number one goalkeeper. Even though a lot of people don't agree with him being the number one goalkeeper because of playing time at Man City, they have other goalkeepers. But that means more opportunity for the backups, right? So what do you think, Aurelio? La Selecta, do they have an opportunity here to make an upset? I mean, we've seen the team grow. We've seen the team be better on the pitch. And now they're playing at home, and CONCACAF is a lot different than playing at a nice stadium in the United States.
That's where my possibilities of El Salvador having a chance is with their fans in that stadium. I'm like, if they can get into that U.S. team and pretty much scare them, because I don't know how many of these players have ever been to a place like that. I'm like, I know they're all young, so I'm like, that could play into effect. I'm like, everything's a possibility. Of course, I've never been there, but I've seen games, and you can see by the TV, by what they show. I'm like, it gets pretty crazy. A lot of these players, like I said, have never played in a stadium packed like that, so it could have an effect.
So, do you think what's the chances of Salvador at least getting a point out of this game?
They have a 50% chance of getting a point. I'll give them that, just because they're at home.
Yeah. Pato, let me ask you, man. Obviously, you, me, and all of us, we get on our chat and we talk about, Salvador doing the Gold Cup and, and how if it wasn't for 10 to 15 minutes against Qatar, where they really messed up, that they could have really had an opportunity to be in the semifinals in the Gold Cup, and be up there and really show what they can do and a bigger stage. Now that they're at the bigger stage, obviously this is for World Cup qualifications, and this is for one of 3.5 spots available to the CONCACAF region for the World Cup. Do you think Salvador has a really good opportunity to at least make some noise? I mean, obviously we know United States and Mexico are 1A and 1B, but do you think El Salvador has enough team to make some noise in this round of qualifiers to scare some teams to maybe possibly even challenge for a qualification at the World Cup?
I think so. I mean, I don't see why not. The only problem is that this team is probably the team that you cannot do the least, because U.S. plays 90 minutes. They're disciplined. I mean, it's hard to get the pedal. I mean, your foot off the gas with the United States. You can surprise Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, Jamaica, and probably Mexico when they go there. But this is the team that you can. I mean, you got to play 90 minutes. I think they can win the game today, because to me, if they have a chance of fighting for the 4 spots, the 3 spot, the 3rd spot, to me, the 3rd spot, not the first 2, but the 3rd spot and the 4th spot to go to the repechaje. This is the game. This is the game where if they can get points out of United States, they can get all 3 points. That will be great for El Salvador, and they can do it, because we already saw them in the Gold Cup. We see that they can play now. They can put the ball in the ground, move around, and play. They can compete. Now, the issue has been in the previous hexagonals that I don't know if you remember against the U.S. Here we made a ridicule, and over there we had the game won, and then physically they were not able to finish the game. So U.S. tied it at the end.
The calambres that always show up at the end of the game.
Physically they were not ready. Because in El Salvador they do everything, and I don't know if they change that mentality where the grass is high, it's wet. I mean, and then you got
the heat, the humidity.
A local referee with the referee when these American boys are gonna go in there and probably get one on the TV and one on the knee, and the ref is gonna go like play, no foul, and everybody comes in like, hey, that's a red, no, it's a yellow. So you understand me? All those things will be in place. So I think El Salvador can come up with a win. But the only problem, as I said before, this is probably the team where they're going to be struggling the most against, because they're disciplined. The other teams you can beat.
Little man, let me ask you this before I ask you your prediction on the game. Do you think it's best, that Salvador's getting the United States the first game in the beginning, that way they can get them out the way. They're playing. They the U.S. hasn't had enough, maybe a lot of time to train together. Get acquainted as they will with the second and third game that they're going to play later on. Maybe this is a perfect opportunity for them to, actually win this game and get 3 points at their home stadium and not just get a tie or lose that bad. Do you think this is a perfect opportunity for them to just, take advantage of the situation that they're getting the United States in the first game? Or do you think the United States is just so focused now that that they need to go make a statement and show that
USA right now they're extremely focused in qualifying to the World Cup. They didn't qualify last World Cup, so they surely are 100% qualifying this. I think it's we all know what the USA is capable of. We all know the players they got, the quality they got. Mm-hmm. It's been talked about a lot more. I think it's a great opportunity for Salvador. No more experiences, no more future. No. It happens now. They know they can play soccer. They don't have to kick all these guys all around and we're gonna put them down by kicking them. No.
No more biting and twisting nipples.
No more fighting. These guys can do it. I think they can pull out a tie, and a tie is a pretty good win for El Salvador. I think the USA team players they're not going to experience what they're going to experience today in Cuscatlán.
Good. So quickly, Pato, what's going to happen? Win, tie, or loss for Salvador?
Salvador wins to 1.
Little.
I go with Pato. Yes, let's do it.
2-1 Salvador. Aurelio.
Yes, let's do it.
1-1.
1-1 tie. Aurelio on his ties. Always, he's a tie man. I'm gonna buy you a tie so you can wear it every time we're on the show. I'm gonna go 1-0 Salvador, man. I'm gonna stick with my selecta. 1-0. I think it's one of those things where they need to take opportunity of their chances and make sure that they score the ball. I hope it's they're able to score more than one goal, but obviously a 1-0 score it's all you need. So Selecta, we got 3 for the Selecta, 1 tie. So hopefully, we're talking about this next weekend. We're talking about Selecta with some points. Let's go to Mexico, Jamaica. Obviously, like Aurelio mentioned prior, a lot of the Jamaican national team are Premier League players. Players like Leon Bailey, who's with Aston Villa, Demarai Gray, who's with can't remember the team off the bat, but and other players as well. But those are the big 2. Will not be with Jamaica because of obviously the Premier League not allowing players to go to the red countries that are high with COVID issues. So this is a walk in the park for Mexico, right? Or am I wrong here?
It should be. It should be.
Aurelio, let me ask you first. Aurelio, so obviously Mexico don't have their coach, Jamaica don't have their players. Who's winning and what's the score line?
I think Mexico should win easily 3-0.
3-0. Wow, 3-0. Okay. Pato, same question. Who's winning and what's the score line?
2-0 Mexico.
2-0. Oh, those are settled. That's always the toughest scoreline to keep.
Yeah, I don't see, dude. I don't. It's kind of unfair for Jamaica to go play like this, but that's the way football is now. I mean, that's going around. So, but no, dude, Mexico. Even if they got the whole team, dude, it's just they're way better than Jamaica.
I got you, little man. Mexico, Jamaica.
3-0.
3-0.
They should not have a problem. If they do, then we have a big problem.
Yeah. Well, if Jamaica manages to tie, my God,
we have a problem. Yeah, yes, we do. If that happens, there's a big problem.
The drama's gonna be high, man. I'm gonna have both TVs going. One the U.S. Salvador game, the other one Mexico game. But I'm gonna give some love to my Jamaicans. I'm gonna say they only lose 3-1. They only lose 3-1. They score a goal. Let them score a goal. So.
Right. I'm gonna go back to the last Salvador USA. This is the game where it's not acceptable, but if El Salvador loses, it's okay because you still you're playing against probably the best team in CONCACAF, so they need to be mentalized because usually teams lose a game like that and they go into the tank. But no, they still got Jamaica, Panama. They still have easily 15 points at home. So.
For sure. Well, guys, look, we're coming to the end of the show. Obviously, like I've mentioned the last couple of weeks, we're doing flip-flops. So 1 week we'll do the English show first, followed by the Spanish show, and then the next week we'll do the Spanish show, followed by the English show. Obviously, this week is the English show first, but obviously the Spanish show is coming up right after this one, and then we'll go enjoy international soccer right after this. So before we go, Paco, do you want to share anything with us before we go?
Great show. Shout out to Fidel Andrade, who's drunk in El Salvador. Henry Ramirez.
500.
Whatever.
Adrian
Marlin.
Adrian Marlin, shout out to you guys. Aurelio, I know you came in late, but you're going to be there for the Spanish show. Anything you want to say before we go?
Nothing, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for
500,
watching.
500 too, I forgot.
Like I said, thanks to Henry, Marlin, all the guys out there that are giving their opinion, putting their stuff in there, and just making it more interesting.
For sure. Little man.
Guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Just give us 5 minutes.
Yeah. I do want to say something actually before we go. Obviously, we're a podcast, we're a show that's located in Houston. And obviously we have a local team here in the Houston Dynamo. And obviously the Dynamo have made a big announcement letting go of Matt Jordan. And obviously we've known the displeasure that fans and the supporter groups have had with Matt Jordan as far with the Houston Dynamo. And the hashtag Fire Matt Jordan movement that was going on Twitter and social media. This past weekend, it was announced that he was let go from the Dynamo, which a lot of fans and stuff are happy about. I'm not one to ask for anybody's job. I think everybody who has a job is blessed to have that job, obviously. But you have to be good at what you do
you gotta take pride
to maintain that job and to keep it right. But with that being said, I think the Dynamo here from here on out, hopefully we'll see what happens. I don't know, we'll keep the coach, but obviously that's a whole offseason matter. But I think that as far as being a Dynamo supporter and a fan, I think it's a good move forward for us. And I can't wait for the offseason, man. But with that being said, guys, we'll see you in about 5 minutes. The Spanish show coming on. Thank you for hanging out with us. Give us a like, a subscribe, and tell your friends about us, man. We do English and Spanish, so whichever one you like best, or if you like both of them, like I do, you can watch both episodes.
Dude, working in sports is a very tough job, and they know that they can be fired anytime. So, I mean, I
sure.
think it's good for the Dynamo. I think it's good for the Dynamo, but I think the Dynamo, they need to clean house all too. So
We'll see.
they need, to me, I would love to have a Mexican coach here so they can bring some players and give a little flavor to Houston, because Houston needs it, man. We need to be a winning team.
We'll see what happens. But with that being said, guys, we'll see you later.
Ahorita venimos.